Congratulations on creating such an interesting story. I really enjoyed seeing it on screen.
Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully you were trying to decide the whole time who to trust, who to believe, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, it was all over the place, but in a good way. Very
Good,
surprised at the end.
excellent.
So, with Troppo being based on your novel, Crimson Lake, what was the most fascinating part of seeing this story come to life on screen?
Oh, look, it was just they optioned this novel when I was halfway through it. The enthusiasm to buy it. I said to them, you don't even know who's guilty. Like, and I wasn't sure I knew who was guilty at that point, and they said, no, we just love the characters so much. So really, it was watching two people embody characters, embody people who aren't even real, and they both went about that in their own ways. Nicole studied the books really, really hard and spoke to me and went deep into my childhood and that kind of thing. And Thomas was the same. He wanted to know, where was the spark of Ted, and what is he up against in this novel? And he was very detailed focused about what he would wear and what he would drive and what he would drink and this kind of thing. So it was amazing. It was amazing to watch two people become two other people in this.
Right. I like how this story is as much about characters as it is about crime and mystery. So, as a writer, how did you manage balancing those personal narratives and the overarching plot? And what are your thoughts on how that was represented in this show?
I really think they got the climate. I really think they got the atmosphere, because you come away with this sense of anything could happen in Cairns, and it's beautifully shot and it's a beautiful area. So I'm glad that they paid homage to that. But yeah, it's an amazing process to go into a world that doesn't exist and bring it out. There were times where Ted walks into a bar and there's stuff hanging off the walls and there's people in the background doing things, and it's imagined way more vividly than I could ever have imagined it, and it was so great to see. And I think that the passion involved from all of the people who, from the writers to the producers to the actors to the directors, really showed. It was a TV show that was made with a lot of love, you could tell.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I haven't been to Australia, but I felt like I was there.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
All the wildlife. So
Yeah.
now that you've seen Thomas and Nicole's portrayals of Ted and Amanda, were there any aspects of their performances specifically that made you change the way you see these characters?
Yeah, I think that Nicole was really hard up against it, becoming this character, because for some reason I could see what Ted as the character looks like, but I couldn't really see her. She kind of moves too fast. She's sort of very adaptive to the environment that she's in. She's kind of like a chameleon. And so when people are saying to me, what hair color would she have, or what skin color would she have, or what would she wear, I have different ideas of that in the novel, but it's always changing. She answers the door and she's wearing Batman pajamas, or she's going out at night and she's in full sequins. She doesn't really play to any rules, and Nicole Shamoon had to go into this with no rules about how Amanda carries herself. So I think that she did an amazing job with that, particularly as she's sort of new to the acting world. She's done some things which she's not sort of your old hat like Thomas Jane, who's been around, who has his process, who's well known, and that kind of thing. So yeah, I really admire her and her work on this.
Hmm. And given that Crimson Lake is the first of four novels that you wrote, what are your hopes and ambitions for Troppo should it continue beyond the first season?
Oh, yes. I can't say much about there being multiple seasons. It's all locked down very tightly. I never say anything about anything. All I can say is watch this space, because these are stories that like I'm not finished with, the actors aren't finished with, the writers aren't finished with. We're not finished telling these stories. So whether or not we will on TV is something that I will leave someone else to talk about.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully we do get to see it continue. And thank you so much for your time today. Best of
Thank
luck
you.
going forward. Congratulations again.